Hi all, cheers again for tuning in. I had planned on doing the voiceover over the intro there, but in the end I thought it was too nice to smear with my grubby Birmingham accent. Anyway, welcome to another one of our videos. This one's coming to you from the round 2 of the Club 100 Northern Juniors category. As you'll have already noticed, this round took place at PF International. This is the largest track in the UK, and it's the track that Oscar has most wanted to race for the last 18 months of his karting career. So as you can imagine, we're super excited about this round. Oscar's been itching to get out onto the tarmac. For me, it's a massive proud moment being able to give him this opportunity. And so, as anyone who follows us will know, this is round 2. The first round took place in March back at Glanigors in North Wales. It was Oscar's first ever experience in a Rotax kart. He took to it like a fish in water, as if he'd been racing it for a previous season. So we're going into this round a bit more confident, at least confident that he knows the kart, but of course he doesn't know the track. So for this round we didn't take part in the test day. Just financially things are incredibly tight at the moment, so we just decided that we'd turn up, that Oscar would have to learn the right lines to take in the practice session, sort of throwing him in the deep end, see how he does. Knowing also that pretty much everybody that was on track with us today was at the test day the day before. As we went along, we watched just for a little bit of experience, and then we headed on over to the hotel that we were staying in. I will just quickly say before the video begins that the day didn't quite go as we had hoped and planned, but this is part of the racing experience, and it's the moments that you're going to see that are coming up that we grow the most from, and it's these moments that are coming up that basically bring out the best in Oscar, as I've explained previously in other videos also. So enjoy the video, and if you could also drop us a like and subscribe, that would be a huge help. And of course, any comments, any feedback, please leave it in the section below.
free.
practice session over with. Oscar's about 1.5 seconds off the lap time for where we'd like him to be if he was to have a shot at getting up into the A finals. But first ever go on this track, we can't complain, he did really well, especially considering he didn't take part in the test day. We're 2.28 seconds off the leader, so going into the qualifier next, we'll be looking to tighten up that gap. We're not overly bothered about the position Oscar finishes in track wise, it's more about personal growth. So we're looking to beat our own times, and as I said, looking to close the gap in on the leader. So I'll take all the blame for this one. We were a minute or two late getting to the pits. So we got Oscar into the kart, everything was fine. The only thing I didn't get the time to do was literally to turn the camera on. The whistle went and the karts are off. So the footage for this race you'll have to see from what I took trackside. I'll do the best I can to make this make sense. This is qualifying, but we didn't get the camera on in time before they left for the pits. Got no helmet cam footage for this one. Come on, dude. Right, so this is lap 3, I believe. Lap's are right off. really quick. He's second from bottom at the minute. So looking back on it now, it seems Oscar was losing most of his time on this bottom section. He's gone in here just behind the driver in the white helmet, as you'll see when they come around this bend now. He's already lost quite some distance, and then by the time that they come down the straight here and cross the finish line, Oscar's a full second behind them. I won't deny it was frustrating. He didn't seem to be able to find the pace to move himself up the grid. Even a few tenths would have gained him a few positions. But it's more experience. As I said earlier in the video, it's what we learn and grow from. And I'm sure that if we had done the test day the day before, Oscar would definitely have been further up the pack. However, on a more positive note, he has closed the gap from 2.28 seconds on the leader down to 1.76. So he's made up 5 tenths. And his best lap has improved from 1:11.58 down to 1:10.9. So he's made up 6 tenths there as well. Really loose in this fitting, so I'm surprised if we have some issues with this. So we have a loose camera on the kart. It's rattling a lot more than you can see here in the video, but as you're about to see, that's going to be the smallest of our issues for this race and what's coming up. You know, we'd already had a tough morning. We didn't think it could really get any worse, but it's about to. So after leaving Oscar here in the pits, I decided to head round to the far side of the track where I wanted to be filming from. It was a great decision at the time in terms of filming what happened, but it meant a long run back to the pits afterwards and the beginning of almost 15 minutes looking for Oscar. Everything you got, alright? Make some positions, yeah? Avoid accidents, keep it clean and on the track. Alright, and absolutely go for it, okay? Right, this is one. I'm just going to set you up for the final, okay? If you want to try and beat P13 that we're going to do by doing, you've got to make some spots now. You're going to have to work in the final, okay? Right, you got this, do stay focused, okay? I'll see you on the other side. Alright. that's it, it's all over. We're 5 seconds into our race. What looks like absolutely nothing on this footage because the camera hides the severity of the impact. It just looks like a little clip. Has totally knackered the front end of Oscar's kart. The steering column's gone. The wheels weren't facing the same way as the steering wheel. And Oscar had to struggle now to get it back to the pits. And then once he got into the pits, it was to find out that a crash damaged kart, you can't continue racing, there's no replacements. Even from this angle the impact doesn't look so severe, but there was absolutely nothing Oscar could do to avoid it. The cart behind him was loading into him. He was just pushed straight into the back of the one in the blue. He couldn't turn to avoid it. But I could tell when Oscar got out of his cart now that he was injured. You okay, dude? Or are you hurt? You're hurt, aren't you? Oh God. At this point he holds his right wrist, looking a bit in pain, but then continues to push the cart back down onto the track. So at this moment, filming on, I'm thinking, okay, he's all alright, but not realising the damage that had been done to the cart or his wrist. You're right. You okay? You're right. You need to catch up with them quick. Have you lost your camera? That's the problem with the cart. I think the cart's knackered.
Yeah, we've got a cart with broken steering wheel. We'll probably be able to get it back, but you can't drive that. If you get it back to the pit lane slowly, we're going to come off. Slowly take it to the pit lane.
I don't know what's going to happen now there. Final done. So I stood here for the next couple of minutes now, kind of hoping that Oscar was going to come back out of the pits at some point in a new kart, but it wasn't to be. After a couple of laps I seen the race get underway and I knew then that he was definitely out, so the priority then was just getting to him, making sure he was okay. Do I stay here or do I come round to you? I don't know if you're coming back on track. I don't know if you're injured. Yeah, it was a horrible moment. I didn't know whether he was injured, I didn't know whether he was about to come back out of the pits. I thought if I go round over to the pits and he comes back out on track, I'm going to miss the race. If I stay here and he's over there injured, it was horrible. So what you're going to see now, and I'm going to speed the footage up, is 12 minutes of me frantically searching for Oscar. I had no idea where he was. I knew he was going to be upset. I knew he was likely injured. And I just wanted to get to him as quick as I could. Is that you there? Or is that the girl? That's the girl. You're at the race. Right, I'm coming round to the pits. Do you have any idea where Oscar Mallet would have went? He had a crash on the warm up, on the lap for the freebie for this. Called him into the pits.
Yeah. Well, he obviously there was crash damage, so he wasn't allowed to take a restart. He wandered off.
I don't know where he's gone. All right, I've got to find him.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look for him. Cheers. Is that you? I found you, I got you. Come here, dude. Come here. Come here. It's alright, you're okay? You hurt? Yeah, where? Your wrist? Come here, where did you go? Oh, come here. I've just been looking everywhere for you. You sit on here. Have a sit down. Have a sit down. Yeah. Let's have a look. Take your glove off. Where does it hurt? It's inside the wrist. Can you race again or not? If you can't race again, don't worry. It's okay. Hey? I don't know what happened yet. I've literally just found him. I've been running around all around the track, everywhere trying to find him since before this started. He's damaged his wrist. Okay, yeah, he should be fine, hopefully. Yeah, don't worry about it. I know you're upset. It's okay. Do you want to go to the ambulance? Go on, let's get you to the ambulance. Take a look at it. No. Hey? Yeah, but all they'll do is look at it and they'll be able to tell if it's broke. Okay? It's best to get it looked at. Okay? They'll just say yes or no. They'll know straight away by looking at it and... Come on. Hey?
The cart's destroyed.
Don't worry about the cart, mate. Somebody spun out in front of you or something. I couldn't tell. I just heard the bang off it though. Yeah, I seen the cart was damaged when you was driving past, but I seen you get up and get out of it and turn it around and everything, so I thought you're probably okay. And then you carried on and come off the track. I thought, alright, the cart's damaged, and I waited for you to come back out, and I was waiting and waiting, you wasn't coming out. So then I started running, coming down to you. And then when I got down here, I got to the pits and I couldn't see you anywhere in there. And I asked one of the guys at the track in the pits, and he said that you had a crash damaged cart, so he said you couldn't carry on racing. And that you just wandered off. You know, I can understand the financial cost of Club 100 when they have to repair a cart that's been crash damaged, but I do think it's a bit unfair on a driver to not be able to race when he wasn't at fault himself. If it's too painful, don't worry, okay? Don't worry. I'm not going to force you. You're not going to race if it's hurting, okay? It just doesn't matter. This is a year of practice, okay? It's not a year of let's go out and get a trophy and win. It's So don't worry about any of that. That means nothing. All I want to know is that you're okay. And the best way of finding out that is to go and speak to the ambulance. So just have a quick look at it. Why don't you want to? But if you've damaged your wrist badly, can you move it? Can you move it up and down? Let's have a look. Yeah, so if you can move it around, or how your fingers do that. We went and sat in the car just after this, and it took another 10 minutes or so of talking before Oscar decided that he would go and see the paramedics at the ambulance. They gave him the all clear, so he was good to race for the final, which I think was a huge relief for him. He was in pain, but he wanted to race regardless. Obviously, you know, I'm his parent, and I know the most important thing is that if there is any injuries, we don't make it any worse. If this means he's got to be out of karting for so many weeks or a couple of months, then so be it. We'll have a break, because we just don't want to impact upon the long-term future of this for him. So here we go, back of the pack, P28. Oscar's going out with an injured wrist. He's had a bad practice, a bad quali. Obviously the pre-B final didn't even happen, so he's now carrying an injury into the final. And just to compound it and make matters even worse, the one thing Oscar's been worrying about the last couple of weeks leading up to this race is the weather. He really does not want to race in the rain. Of course, he's only done it once or twice at Daytona Tamworth in the junior Sodi karts, but it's only been spitting, so it's not been too bad. But yeah, the skies are about to open now, about 2 to 3 minutes before Oscar goes onto track. Just enough time to make the track nice and slippy. And I noticed that standing trackside with the cadets that were still on track while Oscar was waiting to come out, they all started spinning everywhere. So this should be fun.
Discard! Discard! Discard!
So this bit was frustrating to watch. The kart to the right of Oscar in a second leaves an astronomical gap ahead of it. Oscar's unsure if he can pass that kart, so he sits in behind it, leaving a big gap in front of himself. The race then can't start until both karters have caught up with the back of the pack. So yeah, super frustrating. When the race finally does start in a second, as you'll see, Oscar's left quite far behind, so in a way it's probably good because he avoided all the mayhem at the start. But I'll be having words with him. We've got to make sure he doesn't get leaving himself too much work to do before the race has even begun. This is the B final. Oscar starting at the back of the pack, I believe P28. He's been given the okay to race by the Ducks. Said his wrist's okay, he's in pain. I've told him if it's still hurting after the first lap or so, just come in. Don't feel bad about not completing the race. But he wants to race, he's a racer. Try and keep up with them, Oscar. Close the gap. So a very cautious first lap there from Oscar. He's got to figure out where the dry lines are, where he's best to get the grip from. Good chunk of that first lap was on yellow, which is why the other karter had to let him past and couldn't see the overtakes. But enjoy what's coming up. This was an absolutely epic race from Oscar and really made up for what had happened throughout the rest of the day so far. There's two for you. That's another one. So, does Oscar back out of this overtake now, which looked dead easy, or is this just a difference in kart power? Answers on a postcard, please. So we just took an absolutely huge shunt here off the driver behind us in the white helmet. He goes up the right hand side of Oscar and tries to send us off-roading onto the grass. The contact leaves him in a little bit of a spin and leaves Oscar in a full right lock while still going forwards. He done absolutely brilliantly here to be able to handle the kart. Well done, dude. Well done. Held that well. Very good. Oh, come on. Somebody else undone your good work there, cost you 3 spots. Or 2. So the driver ahead, for some unknown reason, decides here he's going to move over to the right and defend clean air, and then at the last second switching back to the left and losing it completely before the apex, costing both him and Oscar 2 positions. So all that fear he had for literally 2 weeks leading up to this event, scared to death of having to go out in the rain, stressing over it, absolutely unnecessary. He kept his head on, kept it on track, and raced an incredibly sensible race. And he's gained 10 positions. I really could not be prouder of him. He actually came off track saying that he hopes it rains more, he wants to race more in the wet. But unfortunately for Oscar, his bad luck's returned, as you can see here. The only day of those 5 days that you can see there that it's not raining is the Sunday, and that's when we're at Wilton Mill for round 3. I'm just completing the editing of this video now, 8 days on from the event, and I can update that Oscar's wrist appears to be back to normal now. He had a great night at Team Sport last night. He had 5 15-minute race sessions, not a word, nothing about his wrist, so we're ready to go, Wilton Mill, and we can't wait. And I'd just like to say to everybody that supports us, that follows us, please give us a like, give us a subscribe. Every single one counts. I average around about 10, 15, sometimes 20 plus hours making these videos that are around an hour long. So of course, any reaction to them, I genuinely appreciate.